All right. Good afternoon, y'all. Welcome to the weekly prep call. I'm stepping in for Drew right now, since he on the drive. Yeah, we're gonna get straight into it, man. Up top. So as far as this week goes, as far as the economic calendar, Wednesday we got crude oil inventories. Thursday we got initial jobless claims and existing home sales. And other than that, we don't really got much else. The fear and greed index, we currently sitting at 67. So greed is starting to kick in a little bit. So just keep an eye on that. But as far as earnings go, we got some big earnings this week. JB Hunt tomorrow after close. Bank of America tomorrow after or before open, or excuse me, Tuesday before open. Johnson & Johnson, Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin, Netflix Tuesday after close. United also Tuesday after close. Morgan Stanley Wednesday. Tesla is going to be a huge one Wednesday after close. IBM, yeah, it's a packed week. TSM on Thursday before open. American Express, AT&T. Yeah, it's going to be a packed week, man. Packed week full of earnings. I'm not playing anything through earnings. I don't want to swing anything like that. But I do expect some of these stocks to affect the overall market, especially if any banks come out super low, or if Netflix or Tesla or TSM, I think those three are really going to have a major effect on the market. Yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into predictions for the week. So if we go ahead and look at SPY, right? SPY had a green week, still green on the month. The daily was kind of like a doji candle, but that's all right. It still made a higher high and did not make a new lower low on a daily time frame. In all honesty, I think we may continue up to at least touch 418.31, and then there's a couple gaps above head. One up to 422, and then another between 425 and 427. And I honestly don't see anything that could kind of like stop the momentum, but you got to be able to play what the market is going to give you. So I don't see a setup on SPY yet, though I will say this: it is a red 2-up candle. So if I was going to play a 2-2 reversal, I would set an alert for the low of Friday, which is 410.06. I will create that alert. The first target would be the 407.99, basically 408. That's if we do end up opening up and shooting down. Right now, futures are slightly up. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the stocks that I'm watching this list. I do have quite a few, but I'm gonna try to make it as fast as possible. So first stock that I'm watching is Intel, closer to the top of the Broadening formation, and I would love to see this below 31.69. It currently has an inside day, and the first target after that inside day is 31.65, which is only 4 cents away. But the second target is 21.70 or 29.76, which is the start of a gap between 29.76 and 29.29. This is giving me vibes like CrowdStrike gave last week and Target also gave last week, because there's a big candle with not, it doesn't have a lot of resistance. Earnings isn't happening this week. Earnings is actually the following week. So I think this play could, okay. I think this play could definitely turn out good. And also we have full time frame continuity red. So super dope on that. All right, Dollar Tree, the next play. So again, closer to the top of the broad formation. Got a long wick to the top side on the weekly. And under 146.32. The first target is 145.12. And then it's a gap down 143.55. Then the second target is 141.34, and it's a gap down to 140.81. So a couple gaps to the downside on this. Again, this is a weekly setup, so you might want to give yourself a couple weeks. But if you're feeling froggy, feel free to take weeklies, as y'all can see on the daily, closer to the top of the broad formation. And yeah, if it continues down, I'm gonna take it down. All right, CAT and DE. If you got any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm always down to help. Always down to answer questions. So CAT has a 3-1 weekly setup. So I'll take calls over 225.83. First target is 233. Second target is 238, and then 240. Between 238 and 240 is a gap. Now, if it breaks downside, the first target is under 209.32. First target is 208.94, which isn't really nothing. But there is a huge gap between 207 and 196. Huge gap. So if this thing starts making its way, I'm ready for either way that is going to play.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, CAT and DE both have similar setups. CAT is coming off of the bottom of a broad formation. So I would like to see it come back up and at least break 233.85 to make a new higher high in this broad formation. But again, you got to be ready to play whatever the market gives you. Similar to DE, right? DE also has a 3-1 weekly. It's down there the exact same setup, coming off the bottom of a broad formation, but over 389. First target is 395, then 406. 419 is overall the weekly target. Over 389, the first target on a weekly time frame will be 419 and then 426. And under 368.51, first target is 366 and then 360. I got other targets in the middle before that weekly target of 419 because there are levels in the middle. So I'm gonna actually adjust this. First target would be 394, then 397. 406 don't even gotta go on there. So between 397 and 394, it's a gap. And then also, yeah, there's a little bit of a gap way up here. All right. So that's all I got on DE right now. Next stock, Airbnb. This weekly setup, again, this is coming off the bottom of a broad formation. So I would like to see it go up. And I'm actually only going to play it if it goes to the top side. Again, this is a inside week that it's coming off of, as y'all can see, and over 115.84. First targets are 117.87, 118.46, and the weekly target is 123.09. But this 122 comes from a daily high. All right, but there's a gap all the way up here to the top of the broad formation. Yeah, I'll be watching this, but again, only over 115.84. Day is green, week is green, and the month will be flipped green at 123. So that's what I got for Airbnb. So New has a nice setup too, but I wouldn't even play New because earnings is this week. But this will be something to watch. You could play like a sympathy play, like X US Steel or STLD, like Steel Dynamics or something like that. But over 150.86, the first target is 156, which is a $6 move, and then basically 160. And under 145, the target is 141, then 139. So decent moves both ways off of this 3-1. It's closer to breaking to the downside, but again, they got earnings on Thursday. So I would not play this unless you're willing to risk it all through earnings. All right, I'm gonna put this one down here. Actually chop my list up and put it near Roku because Netflix has earnings this week. All right. All right, so URI, United Rentals. I have never traded this stock, but I do like the setup. Again, on the weekly time frame, it's another 3-1. It's a lot of 3-1 setups on the week or inside weekly after a bearish engulfing weekly, basically. Now, over 381, first target is 401, which is a $20 move. 405, 416, then 425, and 429 if you want to get crazy. Over 381, those are the targets. And under 353, the first target is 345. And I don't really got a target under that. But if you look at the daily, over 381, the first target being 401, that was the last reject level. This candle, I wouldn't even really count it because the open and the high are exactly the same. So I would go off of this first 401 level. And then the rest of the targets actually make sense. It's a gap between 405 and 416. And it's another mini gap up here between 429 and 425. So this thing could actually go crazy. Day and week are green. Month is completely red. But you see the area that it's bouncing off of. Bounced plenty of times. And this thing has room to go. So I really like URI. VLO, similar setup. 3-1 weekly is so many of the same setup. It's crazy. So 3-1 weekly on VLO. Calls over 138.09. First target is 142. And then 146.91, aka 147. Puts under 130.45, with the first target being 126.7 and 125, and then 120. Oil's been moving crazy though, so just be careful. You don't want to get caught up in some of the crazy moves. But it does have full time frame continuity to the downside, which means sellers are present on every time frame as far as a day, week, and a month go. All right. Amgen and Roku are going to be the last two that I'm really watching. I got setups for. So it has an inside day, right? 251.76. I like this because the inside day, and it's been running up, is due for a cool off period. But again, inside day, you could play it both ways. Calls over 251.76. First target is 252.71, and then 256. But I like it to the downside. And the reason I like it to the downside is because puts under 248.96, right, for the inside day. The first target is 248.23, which is also the weekly put target. 248.23 is also the weekly put target. And under that, I got 243.8 and then 241. You could play this if you want, but they don't have earnings, but Johnson & Johnson do. And they are a huge holding in the XLV sector. This could be a sympathy play for them. Roku. So again, Netflix has earnings this week. So Roku should be an obvious sympathy play off of that. Again, another 3-1 weekly. And if you're looking at this candle or this chart, you can see it's been chopping like crazy for weeks. This is weekly candles. It's been chopping within a range like crazy. And I want to play the breakout of this. But on a weekly time frame, I would love to see it to the downside. Under 60.42, the first target is 59.46, and then the second target will be 54.5. Over 65.47, first target is 68.35. All right. Now to the downside, you can see where my targets come from. Under that 59.46, I mean, you could count this, which is like 59.3. I don't really want to count that. I'm going to go for the gusto down here at 54.5. Hopefully, it can get out of this chop zone. And it does have full time frame continuity down. So I'm favoring puts on that. But again, you got to play what the market gives you. The last 4 stocks I'm gonna look at. I don't really got any targets or anything, and I'm not gonna be playing them. So Johnson & Johnson, they have a double inside day. They had a run up off of settlement of a lawsuit, had a run up off of that news, but they're paying money out. I don't know why it's bullish, but they actually have earnings on the 18th on Tuesday, right? I wouldn't play this because they had the earnings, but they do have this big gap down here. All right, but earnings are too volatile. I don't really want to play it. Also, Square has a double inside day, 2 consecutive candles inside of each other. And you can see this here. I got alert set. Square is a good potential. It could actually come down here to this 60. It's full time frame continuity red. Or if it breaks 65, it could go to 67 pretty easy. And it still has this gap up here. Other than that, I ain't really got much on this. Double inside day. Tesla also has a double inside day. This is going to get real interesting because of their earnings this week. And everybody has been paying attention to Tesla and the fact that they're dropping the prices of all their cars. I'm not playing this. I'm going to just be watching from the sidelines on this, but this double inside day going into an earnings week, this could get real hectic. And the last one that I'm looking at is Starbucks. I have an alert set for this. This will be clean if it actually triggers. So low, high, lower, low, higher, high. If it comes under Friday's low, I could take some puts. But that's fighting the time frame continuity. Again, let the play come to you. If it doesn't trigger, don't force it. That is all I got, man. I know it's a lot of information. I'm going to be posting a lot of charts tonight. A lot of 31 setups. But, yeah, this is going to be a good week. I got a feeling a lot of us are going to end up making money.
I feel the same way too, bro. I like that.
Yes, sir.
I got a little mini watch list that I'm gonna post in the general premium and the watch list. Just to keep it short, I'm watching AMD. I want to see it pull back into that 89 demand area. I've been kind of waiting for that since last week. We kind of got a little low, so if we can get a drop a little lower into that 89 demand, I don't mind taking a bounce there. Also, there's a 93 supply zone on AMD. So if we do go upside, then I'll be looking for a break and hold of that 93 level that we had a hard time breaking through last week. SPY, I want to see that 415 breakout. I mean, this all depends on all these earnings this week. So I'm not going to use the term bias, but I am favoring the upside. Go ahead and drive that greed index a little bit further this week. We got a little bit more room to go. I think that this week with the earnings and everything, this can do it, especially with all these banks and stuff. So it's really time for banks to show what they're made of. So I'm watching that SPY 415 breakout. And then a side watch. I had Meta side watch, 222 break and hold. Take profit at 224 and 225. Also watching ZS as well too for a 340 break and hold. They got earnings on Tuesday before open. And then my last watch is the Netflix and Tesla earnings this week. Still trying to figure out how I'd play that. I am interested in the earnings because I feel like, especially for Netflix and Tesla, every time it's earnings, it either runs $20 to the upside or downside at least. I might be looking at some hedges for those, but lightly though. And yeah, expecting it to go to zero. But yeah, that's about it. My main watch is gonna be AMD as usual. AMD and SPY. I really want to see SPY break out that 415. If we can get into 417, 418, and 420. Coincidentally, SPY lines up with the month of April. The dates right now. We'll see. The market has those little weird things about it. So we on 414, which was Friday, we rejected 415 hard. I'm looking to see a breakout of that level and then see if we can get into 417 for tomorrow, possibly 418 before Tuesday. But sometime this week, I do want to see get up to 420. Bias to the upside. To the downside, SPY, we do have a lot of demand sitting at that 406 level, 406 to 407. If we can get a complete flush of that 406, I don't mind flipping. A confirmation of that 406 flush would be a flush below 405. If we can get a flush and hold below 405, then I don't mind taking it down into the 400s. Possibly below that. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Then I'll post this in the watch list section. And then pre-market, I'll go ahead and update my levels pre-market as well too, as I normally do. Yeah, that's all I got. I like that Cat and DE though. I will be playing that with you. I will be watching that Cat and DE with you.
Excited, bro.
Hell yeah.
This week, bro. It's so many bangers. I want to play Netflix to the downside. The sympathy, though. I want to play Roku. Excuse me.
Roku, okay.
I want to play Roku to the downside. I think that could go crazy.
Yeah, the thing is, I like that, but it's just the choppiness that's scaring me with that. But a break of that chop zone, yeah, it would definitely run for sure, because that's what Roku does. It chops. The thing is, you just don't want to get caught in the chop of Roku, but whenever it does break like the top or the bottom of the range, it goes crazy.
It's gonna go nuts, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It actually got a double inside day too. Well, no, it don't. I lied. Friday it broke a lot. Yeah, bro. I'm excited for next week, man. I want to see the CRM go and touch that 200. I want Chinese stocks to be at zero by the time the market opens for that BABA. And we're gonna go from there, man.
Oh yeah. I forgot I swung a BABA put from Friday. So yeah, we'll see. I want to see Chinese stocks do shit this week too.